So my name's Kerstin Neason and I work for Barnardo's. I'm their assistant director and I cover Devon, Cornwall, Plymouth, Torbay, Guernsey and Jersey. Barnardo's is the largest children's charity in the country and we have a long track record of working in Plymouth. We were very fortunate, maybe nearly 3 years ago now, to meet with Effervescent, and they completely inspired us to rethink the way that we approach social care. I was rather challenged to think differently about how we might approach social care projects going forward. They took a very different approach to thinking about participation, and we very much believe that we put children at the centre of all of the work that we do, but Effervescent really challenged us to rethink that and to do that more. And to think about how we could be creatively ambitious as well as ambitious for social care outcomes. So we have run 2 projects with Effervescent so far. The first was a project called I'm Beautiful Now, and it was with our young carers. So it's a project that's very close to my heart, and we're very proud to deliver it for Plymouth. But this was an opportunity to test with a group of young people whose needs are really quite complicated. How it would work if we co-designed a creative project with another organisation. So for us it was the first and a huge learning curve as a piece of work. And Effervescents were amazing in that they encouraged young people to find their own ways to express their personal circumstances, and the outcomes were so incredibly unexpected. When we came to our second project, we decided we would work with young people who'd been sexually exploited, which presented a whole host of incredible safeguarding challenges for both organisations to come together. But having worked with Effervescents before, we were really confident that we could overcome some of that. So the young people were held in a very protective and therapeutic environment, largely by Effervescent staff, but also with their own project key workers from Barnardo's, through a process which really amazed me because it encouraged them to engage with an artistic process. The Cold Truth took young people on a journey where they learnt and understood about the process of communicating through the visual arts in a way that was so mature and so complex that I was stunned. My staff went through that as well, in a strange kind of way. Their reflections were even more interesting. And I remember thinking, this is a journey that very few adults have the privilege to experience, a cognitive process of understanding your issue, thinking about it in the context of lots of different artistic mediums and how that your issue might be communicated, and then working with some critical challenge to resolve a final outcome which you truly own, but is going to be aesthetically pleasing and yet challenging to the viewer. And I think that within local areas, within social care systems, we're still thinking about social care solutions through a really narrow lens. What really excites me about this piece of work, or these 2 pieces of work, and our developing partnership is that we're really beginning to challenge whether or not there are different ways to explore the world of good outcomes, good social care outcomes, through a completely different set of approaches and media. It's very helpful that the team at Effervescent take a very psychological and therapeutic approach to working with children and young people, and that actually is the common ground between Effervescent and Barnardo's. Our attention to good therapeutic outcomes is our shared frame of reference, but the way we come at it is tremendously different. And I believe that the future of social care, both in terms of social care finance, but the way that we think about putting services and projects together, could potentially be transformed by thinking about working in a different way. It's an incredible cliche, but if you do the things you've always done, you get the results you've always got. And we need to think about how we do the things we've always done in a radically different way. And although we're not without our own internal capacity to do that, having a challenge from a completely different sector to do and think differently, I think has been fundamentally strong for our practice.